Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So episode 2 of Flight 2023 came out yesterday. Actually didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday, but caught it this morning. And one thing that a lot of people are talking about is the fact that Joe Douglas actually had his draft board, at the current time where they were picking on the clock, right at around 13, 14, 15. He revealed his top 3 guys. Number 1, Will McDonald. Number 2, Michael Mayer. Okay, tight end from Notre Dame. That's super interesting. We're going to get into that. And then number 3, tackle Broderick Jones. So the episode proceeds, and he then says he kind of foresees the Pittsburgh Steelers trading up with the New England Patriots. And what's interesting, I felt like, obviously before the draft, there were tons and tons and tons of rumors about the Steelers trading up. Whether that was there were some crazy rumors like up to the top 5, but a lot of them were pretty much around the top 10. And Paris Johnson was kind of the ideal fit for Pittsburgh. Obviously, Arizona snags him at 6. We get outside the top 10, and Pittsburgh all of a sudden still has not traded up, and we all know that they really wanted a tackle. So Joe Douglas foresees this. They, of course, come up with the New England Patriots. The Pats slide back. They go with Christian Gonzalez later. So we're sitting there at 15, and all of a sudden, we're looking at a picture-perfect situation for Joe Douglas, right? Because he can now go out and select his number 1 guy on the board at that given point in the draft. And the team that just moved up went with the 3rd guy in Joe Douglas's on Joe Douglas's board. And then in regards to Michael Mayer, this is pretty interesting. Quick little side note here. So Michael Mayer was obviously in consideration. Now, I'm also a really, really big fan of Mayer, and he ended up going in round 2 to the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought he was going to be for sure, at least late first round guy. I was shocked to see him go to round 2. But it's interesting there because I think from that little video clip, we saw how Joe Douglas approaches the draft. Of course, we can look at the draft calls and everything like that. That's all great. But with his current lineup, right, at that given point, it's 100% fair to say that they were going after a BPA approach, a best player available approach, not so much position of need. Hey, we really need free safety. Hey, we really need depth on the O-line. It was, no, this is our board. We're going to go off of our board. We're going to draft off of our board. Look, Will McDonald, he's going edge rusher. We have edge rushers all over the place. In Bryce Huff, in first round pick from last year, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Carl Lawson. I mean, we have interior pass rushers as well. Pass rush edge position isn't really the biggest overall team need, but if that's Joe Douglas's number 1 guy, it's fair to say that, hey, they went BPA. Now, what's interesting here with Mayer, tight end, obviously not a position of need, because you look at just the overall boxes that need to be checked at the tight end position for this Jet squad, and they pretty much can check them all outside of, are these guys in the top 5 in the NFL? I mean, we have veterans there. We have money invested in the position. We have depth there. We have a young developmental guy who could hopefully one day take over the role of being the starting tight end for the team, in Jeremy Rucker. We're 3 deep at the position. I mean, we're pretty set there. And Joe Douglas was, according to that, if Will McDonald was not on the board, he would have taken Michael Mayer at 15. Now, I think Mayer coming in, just picturing with this Jet squad, he would be the best tight end on the squad. I do think he's a major upgrade over Uzomah and Ruckert. I think he'd be right on par with Conklin. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I think a lot was said about that video clip and how Joe Douglas, how this front office approaches the draft, which is, again, BPA. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And then also, something else interesting. If Will McDonald was gone, again, assuming that we're going off this list here, that means he would have probably taken Michael Mayer over Broderick Jones if those two were still on the board, if he was solely going off of BPA. How does team need factor into that? Is it a situation where it's just like, man, we really need help at tackle? We have a lot of question marks there. We are totally fine at tight end. It's one thing if the Jets were bringing in Travis Kelce or George Kittle, but for a rookie where we haven't even seen him play a single snap, that question could have arose, in that given situation. We just will never know. Just totally interesting stuff here. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you make of this? It turns out that Will McDonald was actually Joe Douglas's number one guy at 15, right? He had him over Jones. He had him over Mayer. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Go Jets.